Hello and welcome to Treasure in Every Verse. I'm your host, author and Bible teacher Kevin Madison. Thank you for joining us today. All right, friends, we're going to continue our series on the foundations, essentially looking at uh, revelation that God gave, God's purpose for everything that's happening. And believe me when I tell you, none of this stuff that's happening takes God by surprise. Okay? All the things that you see happen around you, there's a purpose for it. I know, I get it. Please. Life is hard. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes we enjoy it. We're happy. But for the most part, life is hard. It's difficult. And if you're looking across the street at your neighbor and saying their life is better than mine, you have no clue. You don't know that. If you look at some of these mega rich people, you think, oh man, their lives are so wonderful. They get to do this, that, and the other. They're not like me. Yeah. And that's why you got some of them committing suicide and on drugs and all that stuff. But what's my point? My point is God has a purpose. You mean a purpose for suffering? Yeah. Did he cause it? Of course not. God don't have any suffering to put on anyone. It's not the cause of it, but he has a purpose in it. Okay, and then the last is going to be determined, but we're on purpose. And the last time we were here, I don't want you all to think that God is nonchalant when it comes to suffering, because that's not true. He experienced it himself. Remember what he told some people who wanted to follow him. This person have food, this person have shelter, but the Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head. He was poor. He made himself poor, although he owned everything, so that he can experience personally our suffering in this world. So, what am I saying? I do a series, series of lessons that I taught. I haven't done a video lesson on this yet, but I will. After I finish the new birth, and which is going to be a while because we took a pause from the new birth to do the teaching study that we're on now. We're going to get back to the new birth because it's so long. Um, it's probably going to take us to the end of the year. So, but I probably do exactly what I did during the new birth, take a pause and come to this teaching. Um, what I'm going to do, I'm going to teach on this, but I'm going to give you a synopsis of it, right? So I'm going to give you a broad perspective. And this is it right here. Folks, God understands where suffering came from. He's the one who subjected the world to it. The consequences of sin comes directly from God. He is not hiding from this. He did it. So God is the cause of my problem. No, your sin is the cause of your problem. Adam's sin is the cause of what's happening in the world. Satan's sin is the cause of what's going on in the world. So while there's real suffering and it doesn't feel good, yes, God is the cause of the pain behind it. Say, well, why would a God of love, a good God, do something like that? Because he is a God of love. He did it so that you and I can understand him and understand that you are in your sin. Pain from that points you to the one who can heal you. Pain let you know that there's something wrong. The suffering in this world let us know that there's something wrong with the world. And we start searching and seeking a solution to our problems. There's only one solution to the cause of this. The pain should lead you there. Where? To the cross, to the Savior, to the deliverer who can deliver you from this stuff. So, oh yeah, that's what I want. Whoa, 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 time out, time out. He's not here to deliver you per se from your specific situation. He's here to deliver you from the cause of that. What's that? Sin, man. Sin. Give himself a ransom to deliver you. Now, in that, because there is corporate suffering or corporate sin that causes suffering, there's sin going on right now in the heavens by the demons. There's sin going on all around the world by billions of people. Each one of those individual sins, each one of those is enough to cause everybody to suffer forever. If we go back to Adam's sin, just Adam's, not Eve's, just Adam's, that one sin one time, everything that you see that is wrong with the world today, if nobody else after Adam ever committed one act of sin, one wrong thought, one, if they worship the true God, if they did every single thing right, never committing a sin, everything that you see today would still be happening. You'd say, Kevin, get out of here. That's impossible. No, friend, you don't understand sin. You don't understand the depravity of sin, the corruption of sin, the depth to which it is embedded in evil and wickedness against a holy God. With that said, let me just do the synopsis so we can get back to our regular study. Okay, the title of this one is Why is There Suffering in the World? I don't mean the earth. I mean the world, which includes both the spirit realm and the physical realm. How can a God, a good God, and he is good, friends, allow suffering? How can that be? How can God be good and allow a baby, to be born deformed? How? What did the baby do? So here's my outline, and I've updated this a little bit. I think this is my old presentation, but it's not much different than what you see here. So why suffering? One, suffering is the consequence of sin. Sin is the consequence of evil. Evil is the desire to be like God. To be like God is to be free from the sovereign rule of the Most High God. Here's the principal scriptures in the outline. And I give you this. Here is what basically all these four wrapped up into one, basically what they say. I can live apart from God, I can self exist. That's the fraud. I do not need God, I'm self sustaining. That's the fool. I am equal with God in all his attributes, self glorification. That's the fulfilled, the self exaltation. Self exaltation. Then we get into what is God's purpose in allowing suffering. Here's your answer. You say, what? To the praise of his glory? Are you kidding me? No, I'm not kidding you. Of course, I'm not kidding you. That's what the books say. Friend, you're going to learn in watching anything that I teach. It all comes from the scriptures. I don't guess. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't know. I'm not I'm not ashamed to say I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know. You think I know how a plane flies? Of course I don't know. I don't know how to fly it. All I know how to do is get on the rascal and trust that the pilot knows what he's doing and that the mechanics fix the thing right so that when it flies, it don't drop out of the sky. So I trust the scriptures more than I trust the pilot. I trust the scriptures more than I trust Boeing, who made the plane. Trust the scriptures more than I trust the mechanics who fix on the plane. I'm going to read this and then we're going to go back to our regular study. Suffering's primary purpose is to reveal to all creation, the angels, both holy and unholy, and humans, both believers and non believers, God's attributes. So, all suffering, all righteousness and unrighteousness, all good behavior and bad behavior. What's going on? Why did God allow it? He allowed it so that he can reveal his own attributes. If you can understand that, this is what I've been trying to teach you from day one. The purposes of God. He's revealing himself through all this. That's why he allows it. Did he desire and will it? Of course not. But he allowed it to do what? His purpose is to show you himself. Attributes of loving kindness, tender mercy, compassion, and grace. All these are given solely for the praise of God's own glory. How did you know? How would you ever know that God has it's his loving kindness, that he has mercy, that he has compassion and grace if there was no need for any of those things? How would you know it? You can't know it. And God wanted an eyewitness. He wanted somebody to experience it so that you can tell others in the future and now that it's real, that it's true. You know it without a shadow of a doubt because God has poured out the abundance of his grace on you. You say, how do I know that? Because he should kill you right now because you're sinning right now. You understand that? How do I know that he showed me compassion? Are you in hell right now? No, you should be. You say, wait a minute, I'm a believer. I don't care if you're a believer. You and I both deserve hell. You think you deserve to go to heaven? No, man. You think you deserve your next breath? No, no. The only reason you got the next breath is because of the cross, his compassion. That's it. So, all right. So we're going to get into this. It's a wonderful study, and you'll find that when we go. All right. Let's go back.